I want everyone to raise their hand if they've ever had any form of a mobility issue. Anything that has affected them. So we were like, I don't have a mobility issue. Has your foot ever fallen asleep? So my foot is always asleep. When I hit a certain mileage, my foot is always asleep. My leg is actually always asleep. So how do you deal with that? Well, a couple things. I got AFOs, right? The AFOs are great, but it also took me having to drive and do that motion, right? And this actually was the dome that I used to start my mileage. As of last week, I was at 16 miles. I have 18 miles this week. It doesn't happen overnight. I was diagnosed with MS August 21st, 2018. I started treatments in November. I got my AFOs in November. But it's so important to let everybody know that you're here because we value your worth, but you have to start with where? Where do you have to start with when it comes to your own worth? Exactly, you have to start with you. I always say there's a salad in life. So the first thing you put in your salad, when you put your salad together, what is it? What's the first thing you put in your salad? Lettuce, okay. And what's the next thing you put in your salad, your next favorite food, right? So you're building a foundation, right? Your salad is you, your next item could be your family. But you have to start with you first because what will happen if you don't build that foundation? You will fall apart. So a lot of the vendors that you see here today are actually ones that I've worked very closely with. And that is Mount Sinai Rehab, that's the Hanger Clinic, that's Fleet Feet, Massage Envy, but it does take a village. And of course, Isagenix. My point is that what you feed your body and your output all match. So I'm actually gonna be running a half marathon. Well, I'll be pacing the half marathon in October with Fernanda from Fleet Feet. And then in November, I will be doing the Philadelphia Marathon. So I had to at some point stop and remember what I truly wanted. And I never gave up on wanting to run again. If it wasn't for Hanger Clinic, working so closely with them, I'm actually gonna be getting orange AFOs. But it's so important to realize that if there's something wrong, you have to say something. Have you ever gone to a doctor and they said you're fine and nothing's wrong with you, but you knew something was wrong with you? I was 5 years misdiagnosed. So by the time I got my diagnosis, and I just said this to Yvonne, I had to look at it as an opportunity to move forward. So you're here today, we want you to move forward, and I'm so excited to be able to have those join and be a part of this event. We encourage you to go to TiTrikes, talk to one of the vendors. If there's a question that you have, they're here today. Please take advantage of it. We will be closing with Yvonne, who will be the closing speaker, because Yvonne herself has proven that the right form of exercise and the right input of food has given her just an amazing, she looks younger than me. All right, thanks guys for having to listen to me. Have a great day. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Well, I think the best person that is the alpha and omega of this event is Marisa Bosa, so let's give her a round of applause. And it's because I met Marisa over a year ago, and we met at a mutual friend and sister's event, Iron Will Fitness, and we were just drawn to each other talking about an issue. And then, of course, weeks later, Marisa was diagnosed with MS. But what I noticed about her was her faith and her ability in just never giving up, finding a way around everything. That later turned into a great opportunity that she becomes a spokesperson, not only for the cause that she's here today for Fight for Mobility, but for everyone that sees that no matter what happens, her thoughts have become a reality to her own healing. And so when she asked me to be the closing speaker, there was no way I would say no. I fought with my weight my whole life. And I had become a pretty heavy person to the tune of 260 pounds at one point. But what was happening was I was starting to have these physical symptoms: lightheadedness, headaches, inexplicable movement of my limbs, sort of a disorientation, kind of feeling you're out and inside of your body. Well, blood pressure was spiking, swollen ankles, all kinds of things. And I said, I think this is weight. I think I can overcome it. I know I'm going to beat this. It's weight loss. I've got to get a hold of it. I got to flip my mind. I went to the neurologist at Hartford Hospital, and I worked also at St. Francis Hospital with doctors, and they were saying I was having mini strokes. Not strokes. Plural. Oxygen oxygen didn't go to the brain. And so probably if it continued, it probably would have headed to something worse. And so at that point, I took charge of my life. I lost 130 pounds in 9 months. I did 3 bikini fit shows. I got real skinny. Got placed 5th in Washington, D.C. Managed to keep the weight pretty much off. And then last year, I decided to compete again and got very fit for that. And I actually won 3 first place medals. But now I'm preparing for my 2nd Army 10 miler and my second 4 races of the year. And so the whole fight for mobility is fight for life, fight for happiness, fight for wherever you are. And so for all of us here today, what's important is our self-care, our self-awareness. That's what I thought was really great today. This is the opportunity today, is the first day to make that true commitment to the self, that it's all about your longevity, your long life, your laughter, your love, and just happiness. All of these men and women are experts in what they do. Without them, none of this would take place. But you can tell that they love what they do. They embody this. And I can see why this is such a great facility, because all of you really love what you're doing. And we thank you, and we're grateful for you. So thank you so much for coming today. God bless all of you.